Hey everyone, this is Jai Windish coming to you from Midwest Bliss with a product review, and this happens to be my very first product review. And today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite items and one of my favorite companies that I recently came across that I never really knew existed, but is a great American company right here in the Midwest. And that's kind of why I decided to make it my very first video and review of one of their products. Rada Cutlery, Rada Kitchen Cutlery, I believe is their whole name, out of Waverly, Iowa, and I purchased their fillet knife, Sportsman's fillet knife, because I wanted a nice fillet knife for a number of years, and I wasn't really sure what to buy, and came across this particular fillet knife on a web search, and I kind of fell in love with the company philosophy and decided to go ahead and make the purchase of the fillet knife without having any knowledge of their product quality prior to that. A little bit about their company. Rada Cutlery, founded in 1948, always been in Waverly, Iowa. So roughly for 70 years, they've been producing kitchen cutlery and utensils and things like that, all made right here in the USA in the Great Midwest. Without further ado, let's look at this Sportsman's fillet knife that I purchased, and actually comes in a nice box. And it comes, this was a gift package. It came with the sharpener, the knife, and a leather carrying case. So it's a very nice knife. I have used it once on a fishing trip fairly recently, and the knife performed very well. A couple things about the features: a nice big thick handle, and it's made of really soft rubber. If you've ever filleted a bunch of fish, and you know that handling slimy fish, your fingers will tend to get slippery and the knives will get slippery. That does not happen with this particular knife. I used it on a recent fishing trip, and we caught quite a few crappie, and never had any issues holding onto this knife. Didn't really get slippery. Of course, there's times when you might want to wipe it off. It just accumulates the slime from the fish as you're cutting through the scales and things like that. So nice thick rubber handle, easy to hold, really feels good in the hand. The blade is made out of what they call surgical quality stainless, and it's very, very sharp. I have not sharpened it yet, and I have not used their supplied sharpener, so I don't know how that works just yet. I haven't tried that, but it looks pretty interesting. I've never seen that philosophy before with the washer-looking type devices. So a little bit about the blade here. Now this is going to be primarily for panfish, your smaller, your bluegills, crappies, maybe to cut up trout, things like that. Because this is going to be very flexible. I don't know if you can see that really well. Very flexible, and the knife blade is very thin. So this is going to be primarily a panfish fillet knife. Worked very well for me. I like the length. This is actually the 7 1/8 inch blade. Worked very well. Nice insignia on here, made in the USA, can't beat that. And again, a couple of tips with that. Now, we did not have a cutting board the day that I did use this, so we were cutting on a concrete block, which I do not recommend. Did put some scratches in my blade, which I plan to try and buff out either with a sharpener or some type of steel wool or something to see if I can get that out. But it did not dull the knife really, except for in a couple places where it rubbed against the concrete when we were sharpening. So definitely do not forget your cutting board next time you go on your fishing trip if you expect to have a lot of fish to fillet. That way, if you can, you will not scratch your blade having a nice smooth cutting board to go across with the fishing or when you're cutting fish. Goes through bones pretty good. Now, I did learn a couple techniques while I was on my recent fishing trip from a guide. The Fish and Jigs guys, go check my blog post out on the Fish and Jigs out of, I can't remember the name of the city that they're out of, but it is right on my blog. They're down in central Illinois near Clinton Lake, Argenta, I believe, Argenta, Illinois. Go check those guys out. They're great guys. Do a lot of crappie fishing around central Illinois, and they will really show you some techniques, and they do a lot of fishing. So good group of guys. Go check them out. So they'll call out to those guys. Last couple things about the knife. I really like this. The cost was about 40 bucks, and you're gonna have to pay a little tax, a little shipping maybe. I think they offer, Rada Cutlery offers free shipping over a certain dollar amount. I just bought the one knife because I wasn't super familiar with the company's quality, and I didn't want to go all in on several products if I didn't like them. Super impressed with this fillet knife. Highly recommend it. Get yourself one. Buy something like this over going to your box stores and buying something off the shelf or buying something at Walmart. The other side of that is if you lose a lot of fillet knives, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you know, and you want to spend 10-15 bucks at Walmart or someplace like that on a fillet knife that you're going to probably lose. Okay, there might be an argument for that. But if you plan to have a fillet knife for a number of years that will hold up, good American product, and support the U.S. made in the USA, support the USA workers, get the Rada Cutlery fillet knife, Sportsman's fillet knife. I think they do sell this in a smaller size, but I have not been able to find that on their website. You might still find some of the smaller size, and I think it's only an inch smaller. So you're not really gaining much or losing much by going to a smaller size, other than maybe some stiffness in the blade by shortening up your blade's length. But highly recommend this product. They have lots of other things that they sell: steak knives, paring knives, boning knives, lots of other kitchen utensils. Give Rada Cutlery a shout out and go check them out. And if you have any questions, feel free to post those on my blog or on this below this video, and I'd be happy to answer any questions and lead you guys in the right direction. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you go out and buy yourselves one of these great knives, and check out Rada Cutlery, and thank you for watching today. Have a great one.